Hi everyone, this is Jennifer Biedermann from Jennifer Biedermann Jewelry. Welcome back to another tutorial. I have actually something very special for you today because I made this sample here and it's like a blooming flower. It's just a sample, but I'm going to do something a little bit different. And I'm really excited about this. We're going to make a ring. And I'm going to show you two ways to make the band. Okay, so the materials you will need for this project is an 18 millimeter Rivoli, or if you don't have an 18, use a 14, it's fine. This is like an AB Rivoli. This is my favorite. Look at all the colors. I love this Rivoli. Okay. So that's a Swarovski Rivoli. I highly recommend that you use bicones, crystal bicones in Rivoli, because I'm just going to show you the difference here. Here, I'm going to show you the difference. Here is a Swarovski crystal. It's really very shiny and beautiful. And this is just like a little Chinese I bought this in China. It's a crystal Rivoli, probably glass. It's not crystal. But as you can see, the shine is not the same. So if you're going to sell these, I would recommend just putting the Swarovskis. We're not going to need a lot. Okay, if you're making a big long bracelet, okay, you know, maybe it could get expensive. But we're just doing a little piece and we're going to use a few bicones. So invest in Swarovski crystals. I'm using a 4 millimeter. I am also going to use these 3 millimeter silver rounds. You can use any color you want. I'm using this blue, light blue 11O seed bead. And I'm going to be using these silver 15s. Okay. These are all you need to make the ring and then the band. Because I'm going to show you how to do a beaded band, and I'm going to show you another way to do a band, because I am not a fan of the beaded band. Why? Because it ends up falling apart really after a few uses of this. I've done it with the beaded band and it just falls apart. Okay. So no matter what you do, no matter what size beading thread, how thick it is, whatever, you're going to need a beading needle, size 10. You'll need some 6-pound fire line. If you have 8-pound, that's fine. Just put enough on your thread that you're comfortable working with. Now, the second option, if you want, you will need some... Let's see, what's this? 18 gauge. I'm just using artistic wire. But if you want sterling silver wire or silver filled, you can do that as well. But I'm using 18 gauge. Okay. With that, I will need a ring mandrel for the size. If you're using the wire, you're going to need either a rawhide mallet or something that won't mar your wire. This is like rubber or something. I'm not sure. When you're working with wire, you will also need definitely a flush cutter. Now, how am I going to attach the wire to this piece? Well, we're going to use clay. Yes, clay. I have conditioned a piece of silver clay, so just a little piece. I don't need any more than this. If anything, I need half of this. And then we bake that in the oven. So I have tested this already, and the beads are going to be fine because you're going to be baking this at 275 for about 15-20 minutes at the most. So I'm going to show you two ways. If you don't want to do the wire and the clay and all that stuff, don't worry. I'm going to show you how to do the beaded band. And if you want to really showcase and sell a piece that's not going to break, get the wire and the clay. Okay, why clay? Because the wire is going to, anyway, I'll show you that after. So what else do you need? Oh, you'll need this to cut your clay. It's just a little slicer. If you don't have this, just use a knife. It's fine. Or a X-Acto knife. It's fine. And I'm using, like I said, 6-pound fire line. And so get your materials together and we will get started on this fun little flower. Okay, be back. I'll be right back. Okay, so now to start, what I've done was I threaded on my, 10 3mm and 10 of my light blue 11/0s, alternating. So you start with a 3, an 11, a 3, and 11, and you're going to end with an 11. I did 10 in total. And what you want to do is just sew back through all the beads to create a circle. And if you're lucky enough, you can get through them all. If not, just, do a few at a time. Let me see if I can get through them all. Oh, and I did. Wow. Lucky, lucky. So now I have this, and I'm going to just create a little circle. So these are the amount of beads I picked up for my 18mm Rivoli. And what I want it to do, if you're using something bigger or smaller, I just want to sit right on top like that. Okay? Now, at this point, I'm just going to tie a knot. I'm leaving myself a little just short tail. I'm just going to tie myself a little surgeon's knot. So the surgeon's knot is you just tie a little knot overhand like that. And then the second one, you're going to go over, under, twice. 1 and 2, being careful that this thread doesn't go over any other beads. It just goes in the little spot it needs to go. So go slowly and pull. Okay, so now that I have this. So I'm going to take my needle and I'm just going to get away from my knot by sewing through a few beads. I'm right here. Okay. So I'm just going to sew through a few beads just to get away from my knot. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to exit a 3mm. So what we're trying to do here is just encase this Rivoli. Okay. So right here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick up a series of beads just to come up over here. So I'm going to pick up 5 11/0s, 5, and I'm going to come back around this 3mm, and I'm going to sew through the next 11 and the next 3mm. Okay. And what this is going to do is going to create a little circle here. Let me move in a bit. It's going to create a little circle here, so when my Rivoli is in here, it's just going to flip right over. Okay? Just like that. And I'm going to do that all the way around. Now, did I pick up 5 or 4? It looks like, you know what? I picked up 4. Anyway, so I'm coming out of this one. I'm going to have to back out of here, but we're going to pick up 5, go through the beads, pick up 5, go through the beads, and do that all the way around. Okay. Now, if you want to fast forward, go ahead, but I'm just going to show you. I'm going to go back through here to pick up my actual 5 because I only picked up 4. So coming out of here. So I just want to do a couple of beads with you to show you what it looks like. Now, if your beads are smaller, just, if you need to pick up 7, pick up 7. But it needs to be like an odd count. All right, that's 5. I'm going to pick up another 5. And I'm coming out of this 3mm round. I'm going to go back through that 11 and then through the 3 like that and pull. And you're going to do that all the way around. So that's what you have. Don't worry if it bunches up, it's going to all fit. Because then when we put our Rivoli in, these are going to come up here and we're going to encase it. Okay? So do that and I'll be back to show you what to do next. Okay, I'm just 1 bead shy of adding these 5 11 seed beads. So I'm going to do the last one with you because we need to step up. So I'm going to pick up the last 5. Let me move in because we're doing a step up so you can see exactly what I'm doing. I'm coming out of this 3mm here. I'm going to sew through this 3mm like that. And we need to get to the top of those 5 beads. So I'm going up 2 beads and I'm going to go up that center bead. Now at this point, okay, I'm completely out of camera, sorry. Now I want to start bringing this in to encase my Rivoli. So now I'm going to pick up a 3mm round and I'm going through the top, that middle bead. So 1, 2, and I'm going to the top one. And I'm going to pull that. And I'm going to do that all the way around. So I'm just going to make sure I'm in the middle. Maybe I should have used darker beads. I hope you can see this. But I'm going to have a written tutorial so that if you rather see pictures, because I do pictures step by step by step. I don't use fancy software. I actually see my hands and pictures. See how it's starting to turn in? Coming out of this one, I'm going to go in this top one. Now, I'm not going to go all the way around because I want my Rivoli to fit in there. So I'm going to go like 3/4 and then I'll pop it in there. And always making sure you go on that top bead. All right, now I'm going to pop my Rivoli in. So I want my top to be this way, so I'm just going to put that in there, let it sit in there, pull all my beads tight. It may still pop out, but we're going to work on that. May not. So now that I have that popped in there, I'm going to go on the top bead over here. And I'm going to pick up the last 3mm. I'm going to, now over here, oh, you can't even see the beads. You're going to go into that top bead again, just right here. And pull that tight. Now what I'm going to do here, I want to show you here, and I'm going to show you the back. So the back looks like this. and I would go around the front. Now, if I just left it like this, it's going to pop right out. So I'm going to go through all the beads again, the 3mm, the 11, and I'm probably going to go through twice. I want to really reinforce this. If I can find the hole. So you're going to go around, just making sure everything, just hang on to that Rivoli and just reinforce at least minimum twice. Okay, and I'll be back to show you what to do next. Okay, so I went all the way around and I reinforced twice. Now I'm coming out of a 3mm. Now let me just move in a little bit. And I'm going to pick up 2/15, coming out of 3, going into the next 3mm. And I'm going to do this all the way around, just to make sure that this Rivoli doesn't pop out. So I'm going to pick up 2/15, go through the next 3. And we'll do that all the way around. So let me do this, and then I'm going to show you what to do next, because then we're going to do like almost like the blooming flower type of thing. But that is totally an option. You can stop right here. Actually, let me just go around with you here. I'm almost done. 2/15, go into the next 3. Again, feel free to fast forward if you don't want to watch me do this, but I am almost done. And we are done the round. It's not pretty. Okay, you can. So I'm going to pick up 5/15. Might be 5, might be 7. Let's see. I'm picking up 5. And I'm going to go through the next 3mm. Like that. Yeah, we're going to leave it at 5. I'm going to do that all the way around. Let's do that again. Picking up 5/15. Going through the next 3mm. Now, I want to show you something here, okay? Because this was my sample. What I did was I used 11 OC beads, and I used how many? 3. And it's sticking up a bit more. I kind of want it to sit out more. So I'm going to actually test this because I didn't do this yet. And so I want it to kind of sit down like that. If the 5s don't work, I'm going to do 7. So let me go all the way around, and then I'm going to show you what to do next. Okay, so I've done my round, and let me move in. I'm exiting the top of the, we put 5. I'm exiting the top one. Okay, so now what you're going to do is pick up a 15, a 4mm Swarovski, a 15, and you're just going to go through the next top bead here. And do that all the way around. So I tested this and I think it's gonna like do what I want it to do. My little sample piece, I'll just cut it apart. Because like I said, I want it to really go down this way. So do that all the way around, and then I'm going to show you how to attach this so it's not all flippy floppy. All right, we're almost done. Okay, last little bit. Okay, now I'm going the top bead here. All right, done. Now, see what's happening? It's going up, which is fabulous, but like I said, I want it to go down a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come out of this Swarovski crystal right here. So go there. Now, see this bead. Okay, we have a Swarovski. Now, I didn't use the right color for you to see, but you see this 3mm and then this 11.0C bead? This is what you're going to do. Pick up a 3mm coming out of the Swarovski. You are going into, wait a second. See this 3mm here. You're going into, just a second here, into this bead right in the middle of those 3mm that we added. Let me just get in there so I can show you what bead. Second. You are going into, see that 3mm, you're going into the 11.0 right above it. 3mm. Out of the Swarovski, pick up a 3mm and pull. Okay, you're going to pick up another 3mm. Coming out of there, you're going to go up into the next Swarovski crystal. And what that's going to do, it's going to pull everything down. That's exactly what I want. Now, I'm coming out of this crystal here. We're going to pick up another 3mm. Now, watch what I'm doing. Here's the 4mm crystal. Here are my 2 3mm. I'm going into this bead right above it. Again, I'm going to have a written tutorial. It's going to show you exactly what to do. I'll use different color beads. Okay. Pull. Yay, that's exactly what I want. Okay, pick up another 3mm and then go up the next Swarovski. And you are going to do this all the way around. So I've completed all the way around. And what I wanted to do is now we're going to do the beaded band. So you want to be exiting one of these bottom 3mm. You don't want to be up here because then the band is going to go like this. So we want the band to go out like this. So we're going to come out of this bottom 3mm right there. And we're going to do a right angle weave. So let me move in a little bit. I think the bottom looks great too. Okay, so I'm going to be using my 3mm and I'm going to pick up 3 because we have to create a unit of 4. Now you can use fire polish if you want, but I'm going to be using my 3mm I used in the project. So I'm coming out of here, picked up 3, and I'm going to go back through there. Now the first one's going to be a little bit difficult because everything is a little bit tight. And you're just going to pull, and now we have this. So up through this 3mm and get yourself to the top bead. And you're going to continue doing this until the length that you desire. So for your size or the size of the person you're making it for. Now I'm coming out of this one. I'm going to do that again. I'm going to pick up 3 rounds. Coming out of this one, and I'm going to sew back through this one. Okay. So up and sew here. Just like that. And then I'm going to continue to the length that I want, and then I'm going to attach it over here. But we'll do that together once I've gotten my length. So I've done a length of right angle weave here. And to check your size, you can just put it around to the other side and kind of put it around your finger, see if it fits. Or you can use a ring mandrel like this and just find your size like this, okay? Now don't forget this stretches over time. So you want to make it a little bit slightly snugger than the size, not by much, because it's not going to stretch a whole size. All right, now I'm going to attach this to the other side. So I have picked up a 3mm, and I'm going to go into that other 3mm right on the other side. So this bead and this bead is going to share a unit, so I'm only picking up 1. So that's going to make 3, and then I'm going to over here, I'm coming through there, I'm going to pick up my last 3mm, oops, and I'm going to go through, wait a second, I want to make sure this is, no, I went through the wrong end. I sewed out through that 3mm right there. And now, here, just let me turn this. So now you are going to sew through this one to attach the unit. And pull. Now what you want to do is just, sorry, this is fiddly. Okay, what you want to do is reinforce that unit that you just attached by going through it twice. And then what you want to do is exit this bead right here going in that direction. So let me reinforce and then we'll continue. Okay, so we finished our band. I've reinforced. To tie off my knot, I just went back up the beads, tied some knots, went through my beads in and around, tied some knots, and then I cut my thread. So this is the finished piece. So for those of you who are finished with the video and you don't want to see how to do it with the clay, thanks for watching, and we'll see you at the next tutorial. And for those of you who want to continue watching to see how I do it with the wire and the clay, stay tuned. So that'll be a little bonus to at least show you a couple of ways to do it. There's not just one way. But that is pretty. It is comfortable. But like I said, in my experience, if I wore this 10 times, this starts to get very loose and then it could break. So if you leave it like this, I would suggest after a few wears, just go through the beads again just to reinforce it. Because, you know, if you're selling this, you can't reinforce it for them every when they put it on 5 to 10 times and then come over and reinforce it, right? So you kind of have to tell your clients that, or use a stretch magic or another type of thread. Anyway, that's my experience. Okay, so I'm going to stop babbling. I'm going to actually cut this off and I'm going to show you how to do the clay. So we finished our ring. I have added my beads along the side. I think it looks really pretty. And then here's the, I mean, it's really comfortable with beads. There's not a problem having the beads because like I said in the beginning of the video, this does stretch out and it could break. So that's it. So I'm going to, for those of you who are happy with that, and I hope you enjoyed the video. And isn't that fabulous? Sorry, I'm just, every time I finish a project, I'm beside myself. For those of you who want to learn how to do it with the wire and the clay, okay, which will last a lifetime, stay tuned. I'll be back and show you how to do that. All right, so now we're going to start with the other band. I cut myself a 12-inch piece of 18 gauge silver dead soft wire. And I'm going to take my ring mandrel and I'm going to choose my size, which my size is a size 8, okay? But I'm not going to start wrapping at an 8. I'm going to find my middle and I'm going to wrap at about a 6 because this is going to stretch out. So I'm finding my middle here and I'm just going to wrap this around, bring it to the front, take the other one, wrap it around, and bring it to the front. Just like that. So I have 3 wires showing on this side. So see why we started at 6? Because it's almost impossible to tie this tight enough. Okay, now I'm just going to bring these 2 down, put my thumb here, and now I'm just going to turn these. So I'm turning this, putting my thumb over here, and I'm going to turn this like this. See what I'm doing? Or is it out of focus? Okay, and just keep doing that till you kind of run out of wire. So I'm just going to continue turning this. I'm actually going to stop there. Now, see how it's, now I'm at a 7. Okay, so what I'm going to do with this, first of all, leave your wires there. And I want to take my hammer now. And I'm going to start just hitting it like this so the wires get close together. Then I'm going to take it off, turn it, and do the same thing on the other side. Okay. So now I would do this a little bit more, but here, just for demonstration purposes, I'm going to take it off. I'm not at my size yet, but what I need to get rid of these wires. So what I'm going to do is just take my pliers, which are right here. I couldn't find them. Now, if I was just making a ring like this without putting anything on top with the clay, I wouldn't cut it here. I would wrap it around the ring. But in this case, I'm just going to cut here. And I'm going to cut here. Because this is going to be, clay is going to go over this. All right, now I'm going to start working the size again. I'm going to put this back on. See, I'm at a size 7.5. And I'm just going to keep hammering it until it gets down and up to my size, because now it's going to stretch. And as I'm doing this, I'm also, give a few taps like this. And as I'm doing this, it's stretching it. And it's also, if you have a hard time, just give it a couple of taps this way. And then it'll come right off. So you want to continuously turn it and do it on the other side. So rather than watch me hammer away, I'm going to continue hammering until I get it to my size 8, and then we'll start with the clay. So I've hammered, and I got it almost a size 8. It's kind of more like a 7 3/4, so it's a little bit small for me, but I will probably give this as a gift or sell it. We'll see. So I have my piece of clay and it's conditioned. What type of clay do you get? You get a Primo or a Fimo or a souffle. It doesn't matter. You go to your local Michael's store. They have them there and it says oven baked clay. They come in all kinds of colors. I just mixed this gray because I don't want the clay to stand out. I want it to go into the background. So I have, what you'll need to do is roll it out with a clay roller, or if you have a pasta machine, just run it through there, which is what I do. So this is the thickness here. So I don't want it thin. And I'm preheating my oven at 275 right now. And I'm going to take my little cutter here, which I don't want my clay going over the sides, so it's right there. So I'm just going to cut myself a circle. Pop that out. And I'm going to place this on top, and I'm just going to push it in. I want to push it into the beads, so that when it bakes, it's going to bake right on. Okay, simple as that. And what you want to do is just to avoid any fingerprints, just, smooth it out. Now I'm going to take my piece here and I'm going to place it on top, and I'm going to push that in. Now I'm not going to leave it like this. I need to take another piece and I'm going to place it over the middle. So I just want like a straight. And I'm going to cut it to size. And I'm just going to place it right here. Now this obviously is going to make the ring smaller, but you're going to squish that down. So don't leave it like that. You want it to squish it down so that the size stays the same. And you're just going to work that clay in. You know what's great about clay also when you're making jewelry is you can actually stamp your logo in there so people know it comes from you. Now with the clay, it's very forgiving. If you make any mistakes, you just smooth it out. Oh, I'm off camera, sorry. I'm used to working close to my face. Now it's not pretty like that. What we want to do is you take a little tool and you smooth it out, or you continue with your fingers and you smooth that out, okay? Or you can sand it after. But I'm just going to work it with my fingers, and then I'm going to make sure that there's no fingerprints. And now if you find it a little high, you just take your knife, this knife, or you take this knife and you just slice some off. Like I said, clay is very forgiving. And that's it. Well, no, it's not it. You have to bake it. So I tend to work on this quite a bit until I'm satisfied, but I'm also going to use another little tool just to make sure. This is just a ball tool. You can use like a toothpick or something, but I just go like this. I push down just to make sure that clay is really attached. You know, that second piece is attached there. And I'll just put a couple of holes and then I'm gonna smooth it out again. So that's what I do. And I'm gonna bake this for really 15 minutes at the most. And your beads are gonna be just fine in the oven. It's at 275. I mean, if you're using something really plasticky, it may melt. But I'm using Swarovski crystals. I'm using the Miyuki beads and stuff. I already tested in the oven. So just don't buy, you know, plastic beads at Walmart and think that, you know, just test it first. So let me smooth all this out, and then I'm going to show you what it looks like baked. And then we'll come back and show you the finished product. All right, I'm done the ring. I've come out of the oven. I made sure that it cooled completely. Then I started to sand it. I'm not done sanding yet because I see a few bumps here, but as you sand it, this goes down. And look, once it's baked, it's hard. It's like cement. So this is going to last a lot longer than the beads. So it's just a suggestion. It's completely up to you what you prefer. I just prefer to have things last a long, long time because we do such, you know, intricate beadwork. We want our customers or someone you gave a gift to keep it for a really, really long time. So also what I might do with this clay is, you know, if I don't like this color, I can always paint it with an acrylic and let that dry and then seal it. But I may just leave it like that. So that's the finished product. I hope you enjoyed the tutorial. Don't forget to subscribe. And if you like this video, give me a thumbs up. And if you think someone else might like it, you can always share it. I will have a written tutorial on this project. I don't think I'm going to go into the whole clay thing with my tutorial, written tutorial, I mean. And I'll see you at the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.